Hey, my name is Aries, and I have been documenting my journey to get fit-ish. Today, I want to talk to you about my 2-week experience on Mounjaro. So I have already shared with you the reasons why I wanted to start or why it was prescribed to me to start, and how my first 3 days went, and then how my first week went. And I was really, really excited to go into week 2. Week 1 was fantastic. My first 3 days were even better. And so I was really looking forward to week 2. As a small recap, towards the end of week 1, it felt like the effects of the drug had petered off a little bit. So I decided to try a different injection site. And I guess maybe that played a big mental game, or it played a bigger part than I thought it would, or I don't know. Essentially, spoil alert, week 2 didn't go as well as week 1. And I'm not like panicking. I'm not saying it wasn't effective, and I'm not saying that like, oh my God, the drug doesn't work anymore. I'm just saying I was really excited for week 2, and it kind of, but that's okay. So I've been thinking about it a lot, and I'm trying to figure out why. And there's a few factors that I think could play a part. Overall, I ended up gaining weight this week. I weigh myself every single day, and so there was fluctuations all week. But towards the end of the week, it started creeping up. Now, my final Monday morning weigh-in, I was only up 0.5 pounds. So I know it's not that big of a deal. And I have seen way worse weeks before. So I'm not, I promise you, I'm not jumping off the bandwagon. I'm not saying that it's the end of the world. I'm just reporting how the week has gone, and I want to be honest and upfront and lay it how it is, how I have done with all of my channel and all of the time. So I am up 0.5 pounds, which, yes, minuscule. But after 9.5 pounds lost the first week, I was really hoping that I'd at least lose something. I didn't want to repeat week 1 because that's too much too quick. But I didn't want to go the opposite way. So here are what I think could be factors. Changing my injection site. I really, 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 really hope that it is that, but also isn't that, if that makes sense. My first injection, I did it into my thigh. My second injection, I did it into my stomach. And my third injection will be into my arm, the back of my arm. I wanted to test everything out, and then my last 2.5 milligram shot I'll do back in my thigh so that I can fully understand whether it's injection site or something else. So the other thing that I think it could be is maybe 2.5 isn't actually enough for my body, and I only reacted to it because it was something new. But now my body's like, okay, yeah, it's kind of a cool thing that you were trying to do there, but you either got to up your game or we're not playing it. I don't know. Has anybody else experienced that, or am I just crazy and trying to make up excuses? I don't know. The third thing is it's the week before my period. And generally, that's the week I have higher cravings normally. I have weight gain or like water retention. And so maybe it's just overriding the 2.5 milligrams, and like there's just nothing I can do about that because my body's going to body how it bodies. Does that make sense? But those are like the three main things that are on my mind of like what could cause this week to be so drastically different than week 1. Because it's not just about the weight gain. It's also, I barely felt the effect of the drug all week long. If anything, it was like the opposite of week 1, whereas week 1 was like really strong on the first 2 to 3 days, and then it slowly petered out. This, it felt like it wasn't kicking in until the very end of the week, and then it was only like, kind of there. Now, that being said, it was still better than life before the drug because I was still able to turn down foods that aren't going to fuel my body. I had a coworker bring in a donut from a place near our work that makes absolutely incredible donuts. And I didn't even take a bite. I was just like, no, I don't really want it. So I was still able to make good food choices and turn down things that aren't going to fuel me or make me feel better. So the food noise was definitely quieted. But I did feel like I was eating larger portions and not really getting that like I feel full feeling. So is that a horrible thing? Probably not. It's probably the food noise and the ability to still think about food logically that is going to benefit me the most. And it's not like I'm, gorging on food or eating, massive amounts. It was just, it wasn't as small, or like I didn't need to take as many rounds trying to eat the same meal. Because right now, like basically, we do HelloFresh and we portion it out. So we get 2 recipes that make 6 portions, so that I get 3 portions, my husband gets 3 portions. That covers us for 3 days, kind of thing. And so what's happening is those portions are now too much to eat at once for me. So I'll sometimes have to eat it at like 3 different times, and then that becomes my 3 meals of the day, or at 2 times, and then I have, eggs for breakfast. So that amount that I could eat of that portion or that meal was larger. Still really good, healthy food, but yeah, I think I'm just rambling and repeating myself now. So yeah, I don't know what to think of the week in total. Maybe it's the time of the month thing. Maybe it's the injection site. I my like instinct is both. I don't think it's that the drug is just not going to work anymore at 2.5. At least I hope that's not what it is. I am going to go up to 5 after the month is done. But then I'm hoping to stay at 5 for as long as I can. So I'm hoping that that's not the case, that it's probably just injection site or time of the month. But let me know. Have you guys had this kind of experience? Have you had it where like one injection site is drastically different? I've tried to look it up. There's so much information online, and a lot of it's just kind of like generic. So it's hard to tell. As for side effects, still extremely minimal. I have noticed that Like it happened the first shot, but I noticed it now after taking the second shot that I get a bit of a dry mouth, like day or two after, maybe a few days after. The first week I thought it was just my work environment. It's a very dry environment, but this week I'm in a different environment and it still happened. So I'm thinking it's probably a symptom of like, yeah, just dry mouth. So I've been doing like hauls, like little tiny hauls just to help every once in a while, and obviously drinking lots of water. That's about it for symptoms. The burping has kind of minimalized. I'm not having the little burps if I eat food as much anymore. And yeah, that's it. Some benefits that I have also noticed is my heartburn is basically gone. The only time I've gotten it is if I've eaten like a very acidic meal, and like that's kind of it's kind of expected because I did the thing that would cause the general population to have heartburn, whereas I was having heartburn no matter what I ate and basically daily. So the fact that that's gone is amazing. I did this week have a little bit of hip pain come back. So again, it made me question about the level of the drug and whether it was still effective because of that as well. But it wasn't so much that it was like, nothing's working, this is done and over with. So yeah, that's kind of where the week was at. I am now looking forward to week 3 to see if the arm makes a bigger difference, if it feels more like the thigh, if it feels better or worse, if it was an injection site type change, and just see if things can turn back around again. Because there was like a small part of my brain that was like, this feels like a wasted week. And that sucks. So I'm trying not to be negative because I understand there's a learning curve. There's lots of different things that can factor in, and it's a journey. And like I said, I don't want it to be giant weeks, one after another. So I'm not panicking. I'm not throwing in the towel, but I am being honest. And I did want to share how week 2 went. And hopefully week 3 is just a little bit kinder. Just a little bit. Again, yeah. I wanted to take a minute and thank everybody who has joined this channel. I can't get over how many new subscribers there are. When I first decided to start making videos about this aspect of my journey, I was really worried about the people that would judge and leave. And I never once considered how many more people would join. And I am so honored and proud to be accepted and part of an even bigger community than I realized was there. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for joining me on this, sending your comments, sharing your journeys in the comments, supporting each other, and just being genuinely amazing new subscribers. And of course, thank you to everybody who's been here from day one. You all mean the world to me. I wouldn't be making these videos still if it wasn't for you. And so much about these videos are part of why I've been able to keep going and keep fighting through. So thank you. Seriously, so much. So on that note, I am going to end it here. Nice, quick, short one, just a recap on the week. Hopefully next week there's a little bit more to share. And then we're that much closer to a month in where I'll get to do pictures and do some comparisons that way. Because even though the scale didn't move this week, maybe I was still changing my body size. Maybe there's still some like non-scale like progress that's being made, because I do feel different in my like hands and even just the way my clothes fit. So maybe photos a month in will help be like, girl, we got you. It's still working. So thank you so much. I will see you all on the next one, and I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic week.